My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 33, we have Ronnie Lawrence versus Trevin Jones. Ronnie Lawrence 7-1, 4-1 in his last 5, riding a 4-fight win streak. Trevin Jones 13-6 overall, 3-2-1 in his last 5, riding a 3-fight win streak. Even if you mix in the draw there, this is one of the fights I'm much more sure about on the card. So Trevin Lawrence, somewhat. What are you laughing at?
No, go ahead, man.
I'm trying to understand what is so funny.
No, go ahead. Oh, you're good. Go ahead. Well,
we're gonna find out. We're both shocked that you're so sure about this one.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what's funny here in a second. So go ahead.
Well, I'm all in on this one, guys.
Let's hear this joke, Angelo. Tell the joke.
I got DraftKings, everything. I'm on this one. Anyway, Ronnie Lawrence. He's very athletic with good footwork. He uses leg kicks and then wrestles well when he wrestles. He shoots and reshoots, constantly looking for takedowns, and his stats show that. He is definitely an aggressive grappler and a chain wrestler. And being able to dictate where the fight will be is an important thing to be able to do. Trevin Jones, somewhat short notice fight for both guys. Trevin's cardio might be a factor, and if so, Ronnie is the way to go. But Trevin Jones knocked out Timur Valiev. Timur Valiev, if you remember, made me an absolute fortune like a month ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever that was. Legitimately good wrestler, and he knocked him out. So Ronnie Lawrence, if we're going to compare wrestler for wrestler, we've seen Trevin Jones knock very good wrestlers out. Trevin Jones, a ton of power. Everything he throws is
heavy. Can't just say that and not mention what happened for the first 5 and 6 minutes of that fight.
Yeah, but he's always in it. The point is,
no,
he doesn't give up. He's always in it, and that power is there.
That fight in the first round could have been stopped by a lot of refs just to call for what it is. I'm not saying what he did wasn't impressive, but that was a interesting first round. But sorry, go ahead. Continue.
So Trevin Jones, he throws everything with 100% power. He's not the most technical striking, but he is a sneaky good jiu-jitsu guy. He does hold the BJJ black belt. The problem is I think he's fallen in love with his power and his striking, so he doesn't really use it or do anything with it. Almost like, not that Tyron Woodley was a BJJ black belt, but almost that route, right? Just got really good with his hands and only used his hands for a while. And that could be an issue here. I see him throwing heavy, chasing a KO, and then getting sucked into some grappling. Ronnie Lawrence is definitely the winner here. I think he takes him down, beats the absolute piss out of him. I have him in my DraftKings lineup. I think he's going to score a ton of points. Like I said, I'm very, very confident in this pick. Jacob, you laughed at me. You'll go last. Danny boy, what do you think?
I agree with your pick. I'm on Ronnie Lawrence here. Earlier in the week, though, I will say, again, these early lines, this week I wasn't jumping on him as early enough, but you could have gotten Trevin Jones, I think, earlier in the week at like plus 170. That's a great value because I think this is definitely not a sure shot. I think this is going to be a great fight. I'm actually excited to see how it plays out because Trevin Jones, as you said, he's good on the ground. He's got power in his hands. But Ronnie Lawrence has very, very good wrestling. And he also has solid hands. So I think it's a great matchup. I give the X factor to Ronnie Lawrence in this one. He's training down at Sanford MMA now, where we've seen a lot of guys who make that move really come out with good game plans. They're improving, and they've looked really good. So I think we're going to see a very good Ronnie Lawrence in this fight. And I think he's going to win. I don't know if I'm going to put him in my DraftKings. I think there's just a lot of risk for a knockout the other way with the power Trevin Jones has. So, but I like him. He's my pick. I'll look for some prop bets throughout the week just as the line moves. But Ronnie Lawrence is my pick.
I would imagine if you bet on Trevin, it's only a knockout prop. He's not going to win a decision, right? I mean, I don't think he'd win by submission either.
He's just well rounded. I don't know. I think he doesn't get enough credit for his. I think everyone called that first fight a bit of a fluke, which maybe it was, but he looked good against Batista. I mean, he was kind of losing some spots in that fight, so I don't know. We'll see. I think Ronnie Lawrence is going to win the fight. I just think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think it's not going to be a one-sided affair.
Jacob, what are your thoughts here after laughing?
First of all, the graphic is wrong. Trevin Giles not 7-3, he's 13-6.
His name is also Trevin Jones, not Trevin Giles.
Trevin Jones, not 7-3. Anyway, what's weird? What's weird is 6 of his fights he's had split decisions, either wins or losses. He had 3 split decision losses and 3 split decision wins, which is just kind of random fact. But listen, I think Trevin Jones is the real deal. When I was looking at this fight, first of all, I think it's going to be the fight of the night. I honestly think it's going to be the fight of the night. And when I was looking at the fight, I didn't know who the underdog was, and I watched both the guys, and I said, you know what? In DraftKings, I'm taking whoever the underdog is in this fight because I think it's that close, and there's great value in the underdog. That ended up being Trevin Jones. And I actually think he's going to win the fight on top. I think it's close, but I think his power, and he's never been knocked out before. He's been in wars before, and he's come back. So I love Trevin Giles. I love his power in this. And like you said, if it goes to the ground, he's very comfortable there as well. So I think he's a real deal, and I think he shows up. And I think Trevin Jones wins this fight. I don't know, why do I keep saying Trevin Giles? Is Trevin Giles
you're obsessed with that dude? Yeah. So I think, again, I'm going Ronnie Lawrence. Last thing I'll mention is if we learned anything from last week, it's that these judges love control time all over again. Control time is the biggest thing in the world now. So all those close decisions, there was some wrestling, there was some control time. And if anybody's going to dictate that, it'll be Ronnie Lawrence. Monkey knife fight, I love the more and more. I think Ronnie Lawrence blows through Trevin Jones, but I don't think he's going to stop him. I think he's just going to take him down, beat him up, score a ton of points, 5 points for every single takedown. And I think it'll be busy. So I really like the more and more, especially 38.5 is nothing. So I really like the more and more here. Yeah,
I'm really surprised at the 38.5 for Trevin. So I'd probably play the more and more. They're small guys, bantamweights. I think they both have knockout power, but they're both technical and skilled enough to not get knocked out as well. So I like the more and more.
Yep. So anybody who wants to hit that up, weonpicks.com, grab Monkey Knife Fights, sign up, free money, ask the chat. Everybody makes money doing Monkey Knife Fights.